Brimming with Love had the potential to be a good film, but it is insufferable because of the music. Some of the music's okay, some of it's actually irritating, but the big problem is the volume. The music is way, way louder than it should be, to the point where I was not necessarily struggling to hear what people were saying, but I was so focused on the music that I just couldn't concentrate on the dialogue. I did sit through it. It's not completely impossible, but it wasn't a pleasant experience. But there are some positives about the film, but unfortunately I can't recommend it unless perhaps the music is better somewhere. I watched it on Amazon Prime in the UK. Maybe if the film is somewhere else and the audio is better, then fair enough, but based purely on my experience, I can't recommend it because the music is horrendous. The volume of the music is horrendous. The music itself, sometimes the music's okay, sometimes it's not the most pleasant, but if they turned it down, I could bear with it. But as I said, there are some positives, so I will talk about those just in case you want to check it out. This was released originally in 2018. It's directed by W.D. Hogan, and it's written by John Donovan, Debbie Gaughan, and Victoria Rose, and we have a cast including Kelsey Asbille and Jonathan Keltz. I apologise if I've mispronounced any of those names. And this is about a journalist called Ali, and she's writing a story on romance, and this focuses on this coffee shop where people meet and fall in love. And it's an interesting enough concept for a narrative. I thought it worked quite well, and along the way, Ali maybe has opportunities to open her own heart up to love. Will she find love at this coffee shop? And what role does Sam, the coffee shop owner, play? Well, I won't answer those questions, but in general, there's nothing wrong with the story. The narrative works well, it's a decent concept, it flows well, the pacing is fine, Ali is a perfectly likeable protagonist, the performances are fine, we have a nice variety of locations. It's not the most interesting visually, but there's nothing wrong with it. The big issue is just that the music drowns out everything. And while it's not completely every scene, I would say it's most of it. And it just is, it's insufferable. As I said, I did sit through it, but it was not a comfortable, pleasant experience. And it's a shame because the narrative is actually pretty decent. The characters are likeable and the performances are good. The camera works fine, no problems there. It's just completely drowned out by the unfortunate music. Mostly it's the volume of the music, but as I said, some of the music's still not great. But if it was quiet, if it was in the background, that's okay. I can deal with it. But when it's so overbearing and drowning out the dialogue and I can't really hear what the characters are saying, sometimes because it does drown it out, but for the most part it's just because it's distracting, it's not great. So I can't recommend it. Brimming with Love is a decent story. The characters are good, the performances are good. I have no complaints about any of that. But since it's really difficult to actually listen to, again, based on my experience of watching it on Amazon Prime, it is unfortunately not one that I can recommend.